Hey guys, so this is the week 22 homework answer key video part 2. Okay. In the video part 1, I finished the first 8 questions. So for the part 2, I'm going to start with question number 9. Okay. So let's get started. Question number 9 says, draw the graph. So our task is to draw the graph of the relation defined by the given equation. Make a table of values of 4 points. And the linear relation given here is x minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. Here, before we start solving this question, remind yourself, which form is this? Okay, which form is this? Is it standard form? Is it point slope form? Or is it slope intercept form? Okay. Every time you see a question, every time you try to solve a question, try to connect the question, try to connect the knowledge in this question to something you have seen or you have studied. This is how we deepen our understanding, okay? If every time you see an equation like this, you remind yourself that, okay, I kind of remember that the standard form of a linear equation should look like this: ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, c, they're all real numbers. Okay. If every time you see an equation like this, you remind yourself the concept of standard form of a linear relation, then after a while, this thing will be in your head forever. You will never need to worry about this anymore, okay? So this is a little bit off topic, but this is how I study. So I just want to share this experience with you. So the answer is x minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. This form is the standard form of linear equation. Standard form, okay? So how do we get 4 points? Like, easy. We take different x values and we find the y values, okay? So how do we do this? We take different x values and then we find the corresponding y values. Okay, and these xy pairs will be the points on the straight line. Okay, so for example, if x is equal to 0, you can take any x values. Okay, you can let x be 0, be 1, be 2, be minus 1.5, be minus 0 0.345678. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can take any x value as long as you can find the y value correctly. It doesn't matter what value you take. Okay, so if x is equal to 0, then the equation becomes 0 minus 3y is plus 6 is equal to 0, right? So if you solve this equation, you will find that y is equal to 2. Okay, so this means 0, 2 is the first point that we find. 0, 2. If I let x be, let's say, 3, if x is 3, then the equation becomes 3 minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, if you solve this equation, so 3 plus 6, that's 9, right? If we move minus 3y to the right side of the equation, that'll be plus 3y. So positive 3y is equal to 9, which means y is equal to 3. So 3, 3 is the second point that we can find on this straight line. 3, 3, right? And then we can use the same method to find 2 more points. For example, if I let x be 6, if x is equal to 6, then the equation becomes 6 plus 3y, sorry, not plus, 6 minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0, right? If we solve this equation, we'll find that y is equal to 4, right? Because minus 3 times 4, that's minus 12. Minus 12 plus 6 plus 6, that's 0, right? So 6, 4. This point is also on the straight line. Okay, let's try a minus number. For example, if x is equal to minus 6. If x is equal to minus 6, then the equation becomes minus 6 minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. And if we solve this equation, we'll see that y is equal to 0. So minus 6, 0 is on the straight line. So after this whole process, we found 4 points, right? 0, 2, that's on the straight line. 3, 3, 6, 4, minus 6, 0. Okay, so these 4 points are not the only solution. Okay, like I said, there are millions different solutions if you take different x values. Okay, I took 4 different x values, 0, 3, 6, minus 6, and I found 4 different corresponding y values. Okay, but you can use different x values. Okay, so now we need to plot these 4 points on the graph. Okay, on the coordinates plane. Okay, so first one, 0, 2. We know that this is x-axis, this is y-axis, right? And this is 0, 0. This is origin. Okay, so we've done this multiple times. Okay, 0, 2. The x value, x coordinate of this point is 0, so there's no x value, right? So it doesn't move on the x-axis. So this is 0, 2. Y value is positive, so we go up by 2 units. So this is 0, 2. Okay, 3, 3. I'm not going to do this again because this is very time consuming, right? So I'm just going to show you where the points are. 3, 3. This is 3, 3. Okay, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 6, 4. Okay, and minus 6, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is minus 6, 0. Okay, so if we join these 4 points, we will realize that these 4 points are actually on the same straight line, which verifies our calculation here. Okay, so if we join these 4 points, see, these 4 points are indeed on the same straight line. Okay, and this straight line is the one that we need to graph. Okay, and this straight line is the visual representation of the equation x minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so this straight line is the expression x minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. So this straight line and this equation, they are equivalent in mathematics. Okay, so this is how we do this question. For part B, I'm not going to do this again because the method is literally the same. Okay, you take different x values, you find different y values, and then you plot the points in the graph and you join the points, and that straight line will be your straight line, okay? Although this equation might be a little bit hard to manipulate, so I want to show you how to get rid of the denominators, how to get rid of the fraction, okay? So we have x minus 2 plus y over, sorry, did I say x minus 2? X over 2 plus y over 3, which is equal to 1, okay? In order to get rid of the fraction, we need to get rid of the denominators, right? So the method here, the technique here is we multiply the least common multiple of the two denominators on both sides of the equation, so we can get rid of the denominator, okay? So 2 and 3, the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is equal to 6, okay? Is equal to 6. If you don't know what least common multiple is, basically it's the smallest multiple of these two numbers, okay? It's the smallest multiple that we can find for these two numbers, okay? And the smallest multiple that we can find for 2 and 3 is 2 times 3, which is 6, because 2 and 3 don't have any common factor, okay? That's 6. And now we multiply 6 on both sides of the equation. 6 times x over 2 plus y over 3 is equal to 1 times 6, which is 6. Okay, and 6 times x over 2, 2 gets canceled, so it's 3x, right? Plus 6 times y over 3, 3 gets canceled, so it's 2y. 3x plus 2y is equal to 6. So if you get this equation, if you get this form, that'll be easier for you to do the calculation, right? Because it's always harder to deal with fractions, okay? So that would be question number 9. I'm not going to solve this for you because you can use the same method here. Okay, the steps are exactly the same. Okay, so that's question number 9. Question number 10, which of the given ordered pairs, when you see ordered pairs, this is just a fancy name of points, okay? Ordered pairs are just points, okay? So you can translate this to which of the given points satisfy each equation. Circle the correct answer or answers, okay? So how do we do this? We are given an equation and we are given different points. It's very easy. How we do this is we plug in the x value here and see if the y value here is the one given here. Let me repeat this. So we plug in the x value here to the x here, and then we see if the y value that we get matches the one given here. Okay, so let's try. For example, the first equation is y is equal to 3x, right? And the first point is 0, 3. So y, if we plug in x, if we plug 0 in the equation, y will be 3 times 0, which is 0. This is not equal to 3, which means A is not a correct answer. This means the point 0, 3 is definitely not on the straight line 3x. Okay, let's try B. If we plug 2 in the equation, so y will be 3 times 2, which is 6. This matches the y value given here. So this means 2, 6. This point satisfies the equation. Okay, this point satisfies the equation. Let's try 3, 1. If we plug 3 in the equation, y will be 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 is not equal to 1. Okay, so this means this point does not satisfy the equation. Okay, so this point does not satisfy the equation, and this point is not on the straight line. These two expressions, they mean the same thing. They mean the same thing because every linear equation represents a straight line, right? So when I say the point is not on the straight line and the point does not satisfy the linear relation, these two expressions have the same meaning. Okay, so the answer is B. Okay, and let's try a few more. Let's try B. So part B is as the equation given here is y is equal to 4x minus 1. So if we plug 0 in the equation, y will be 4 times 0 minus 1. That would be minus 1, right? Does it match? It does. Minus 1 is equal to minus 1 here. So this is the correct answer. So this point satisfies the equation. Okay. What about E? Y is equal to 4 times minus 1 minus 1. That will be 4 times minus 1 is minus 4. Minus 4 minus minus 1. Sorry, minus 4 minus 1, that will be minus 5. This is not equal to 0, which means this point does not satisfy the equation. Okay, this point does not satisfy the equation. What about 3? Y is equal to 4 times 3 minus 1. 4 times 3, that's 12. 12 minus 1, that's 11. 11 is equal to 11 here. So F is also a correct answer. So for part B, there are 2 points that satisfy this linear equation. Okay, 0, minus 1, and 3, 11. These 2 points both satisfy the linear relation. Part C. Y is equal to minus 2x plus 5. Okay, so now we should know how to do this, right? So for this point, let's try. Y is equal to minus 2 times 0 plus 5 is equal to 5, which is a match. So this point is on the straight line, which means this point satisfies the linear relation. Okay, what about H? Y is equal to minus 2 times 5 plus 5. This is equal to minus 2 times 5, that's minus 10. Minus 10 plus 5, that's minus 5. And it's not equal to 0. So this point does not satisfy the equation. Okay. I. Y is equal to minus 2 times minus 5 plus 5. Okay, so minus 2 times minus 5, that's positive 10, right? Positive 10 plus 5, that's positive 15. And this is not equal to minus 5. So this point does not satisfy the equation. Okay, so I think 3 examples are enough for us to understand the steps. Okay, so I'm going to leave these 2 for you. Okay, I'm going to leave these 2 to you to figure out. Okay, that's question number 10. 11. Find the x-intercept and y-intercept of the relation and draw the graph. Find the coordinates of a third point to check. Okay, so this question is about x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay, remember what x-intercept and y-intercept are. Okay. part A, y is equal to minus 2x plus 7. Okay, so when we were when you guys did this homework, we didn't learn slope intercept form yet, right? But now we have learned slope intercept form. I hope you can recognize that this form is the slope intercept form. Okay. Let me help you. Let me remind you. Okay, what's the slope intercept form? It looks like this. Y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so how is this convenient for us? This means we don't need to do anything. And we already know the y-intercept, which is 7. Okay, so this is why different forms are good in different scenarios. Okay, so for this question, we don't even need to do any calculation, and yet we know that the y-intercept is 7. Okay. What about x-intercept? X-intercept is when y is equal to 0. Okay. So x-intercept is when y is equal to 0. So this means 0 is equal to 2 minus 2x plus 7. If you do the calculation, this means x is equal to 7 over 2. 7 over 2. Okay. So the the x-intercept, the point is 7 over 2, 0. And the y-intercept, the point is 0, 7. Okay, now we have 2 points, right? Remember, if we have 2 points, we can plot these 2 points, and if we join these 2 points, we can find the straight line, because any 2 points determine the straight line, right? So we have 7 over 2, 0, and 0 minus 7, 0, 7. So this is 0, 0. This is 0, 0. 7 over 2, 0. So that's 3 and 3.5, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, and this is around 3.5 is around here, right? This is 3.5. This is 3.5. Okay, and then we have 0, 7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. So this is 0, 7. And now we join these 2 points. We join these 2 points, and this will be the straight line that we need to find. Okay. What does it mean by find the coordinates of a third point to check? That means we use this expression. We chose a different x value, and we find a different y value, and we see we check whether the point that we find here is also on this straight line to verify that this straight line is drawn properly. Okay, so for example, if we let x be, let's say, 1, if x is equal to 1, then y is equal to minus 2 times 1 plus 7, which is equal to 5. So 1, 5, this point technically should be on the straight line. So if we find this point on this straight line, that means the straight line is drawn properly. If this point is not on the straight line, that means there must have been some mistake in our calculation. Okay, so 1, 5. So this is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is indeed on the straight line. 1, 5. Okay, so this is the, oh, oops. So this is the third point that we found to check the calculation that we did. Okay, so that's part A. That's part A. Let's try part B. Part B, you need to be careful, okay? Because part B, it's x is equal to 3y minus 6. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky. Okay, the tricky part, like the reason why I said this is tricky is if you are not careful enough, you might think this is y is equal to 3x minus 6, but it's not. It's x is equal to 3y minus 6. Okay, so be careful with the calculation. Okay, x-intercept is when y is equal to 0. Remember this, okay? X-intercept means y is equal to 0. Okay, so when y is equal to 0, x is equal to 3 times 0 minus 6, which is equal to minus 6. Okay, so here the x-intercept is, the point is minus 6, 0. Okay, because x is equal to minus 6 and y is equal to 0. Okay, so 0, minus 6, 0. That's the x-intercept. Y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. Okay, so x is equal to 0. 0 is equal to 3y minus 6. If you do the calculation, y is equal to 2. So the y-intercept, the point is 0, 2. So now we have 2 points. Now we need to plot these 2 points in the graph. I mean, in the coordinates plane. Okay. So we have, this is 0. We have minus 6, 0, minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the x-intercept, minus 6, 0. And the y-intercept is 0, 2. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 2. Right? And if we join these 2 points, if we join these two points, this is the straight line that we need to find. Okay, so now the third point, again, this is the same step. Okay, so we just find the third step as our third point and see if the point is on the straight line. If it is, that means our calculation is correct. If it's not, then that means there was something wrong with our calculation. Let's get any point. So, for example, if we let x be 3, if x is equal to 3, let's find y. So 3 is equal to 3y minus 6. Okay. So if we move minus 6 to the left side, that will be 9 is equal to 3y, which means y is equal to 3. So theoretically, 3, 3, this point should be on the straight line. Let's see if it's on the straight line. So let's find 3, 3. This is 0, right? 1, 2, 3, that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Indeed, it is on the straight line. This point is 3, 3. And we can see clearly that it is on the straight line that we just drew. Okay, so that means our calculation is correct. Okay, so that's question number 11. Let's look at number 12. Determine the x and y intercepts on the given graphs. Okay, so this is a very good question because it visually explains to you what X and Y intercepts are. Okay. I think I've said this in class. Okay. So the x-intercept is just the intersection of the straight line and x-axis, which means this point is the x-intercept. So this point is the x-intercept. So that's 1, 2. This point is 2, 0. Okay, so if you see this kind of question in your exam, okay, if you write 2, 0 here, I would consider that answer correct. If you write only 2, I will also consider that answer correct, because technically this is 2, right? So if the question does not specify whether you should write the coordinates of this point or just the distance, you can write either one. Okay? The same logic applies. Y-intercept, the visual representation of y-intercept is just the intersection of the straight line and y-axis, which means this point is the y-intercept. This point. Okay, so 1 minus 1 minus 2 minus 4. That's a 0 minus 4. Okay, again, if you are writing the exam, if you wrote y-intercept is 0 minus 4, I will say that's correct. If you say y-intercept is minus 4, I will also say that's correct, because technically this is minus 4. Okay, so when we say intercept, it's not just the distance. Okay, it's more like it's like a distance with direction. I don't want to confuse it too much, but like remember, if you want to use just the number, you need to take the sign with you. Okay, you need to put a sign. If the y-intercept is negative, you need to add the negative sign. Otherwise, your answer will be wrong. Okay, so let's quickly do B. X-intercept. Again, x-intercept is the intersection of the straight line and x-axis, which is this one. So here, this is 1, 2, 3. So minus 3, 0. Or you can just say it's minus 3. Okay, y-intercept. Y-axis and the straight line, which is this point, right? This point. This is minus 1, minus 2. So 0, minus 2. Or you can say minus 2. These answers are all correct. Okay, so this is a very good question because it gives you a visual explanation of x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Okay, so study this question a little bit more. Spend more time on this question, please. Okay, last page. Question number 13. Use the given table values to draw the graph of the constant relation. Circle the correct description word. Determine the x and y intercepts from the graph. Okay. So y is equal to 4. Okay, we learned, right? We've seen this. We've seen like horizontal straight lines and vertical straight lines, right? But okay, let's do this again. So y is equal to 4. Y is equal to 4. What does this mean? If the equation is y is equal to 4, that means all the points on the straight line have the same y value. So all the points on this straight line have the same y value, which is 4, but they have different x values. So if you try to picture that in your head, it has to be a horizontal line, right? It has to be a horizontal line because only for horizontal lines, horizontal straight lines, all the points have the same y value, but different x values, right? Let's plot the points and see if our conclusion is correct. Okay, so y is equal to 4, so minus 4. So we read this table like this, right? So this is xy. So this is a point, this is a point, this is a point, and this is a point. And this is how we read this table, just in case you don't know. So the first point is minus 4, 4. This is 0. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 4, 4. That's the first point. Right. Minus 2, 4. Minus 1, minus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the second point. Minus 2, 4. 2, 4. That's the third point. Right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the third point. And the last point is 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay. So if you join these points, you'll see that these points are on a horizontal straight line. So this straight line is y is equal to 4. Because, like I said, this straight line consists of millions points. But all the points have the same y coordinate, which is 4. For example, this point has 0, 0, 4. This point has 2, 4, minus 2, 4, right? This is minus 1, 4, minus 3, 4, etc. So all the points on this straight line have the same y value, but different x values. Okay, so this straight line is a horizontal straight line. Horizontal. What's the x-intercepts? Remember what x-intercepts are? X-intercept is the intersection of the straight line and x-axis. These two straight lines are horizontal. Okay, two horizontal straight lines do not have any intersection. So that means x-intercepts for this specific straight line do not exist. DNE, it stands for do not exist. Okay, do not exists. Do not exist. Sorry, my bad. Do not exist. Okay. Y-intercept. Y-intercept, let me remind you again. Y-intercept or y-intercepts are the intersections of the straight line and y-axis. So we do have intersection here. So what's the coordinates of this point? 1, 2, 3, 4. The coordinates is 0, 4. Right? So the y-intercept of the straight line is just 0, 4. Or, like I said, you can write 4. Up to you. Okay? Part B, x is equal to minus 3. So when we have a constant x value, that means all the points on the straight line have the same x value, but different y values. What does that mean? So we have a straight line, right? All the points on the straight line have, let me draw this. All the points on the straight line have the same x value, which is 3. It's minus 3, but it doesn't really matter. So let me draw like this. Right, this is x and this is y. So all the points on this straight line have the same x value, which is 3, but they have different y values. Okay, so again, if you try to picture this straight line in your head, you will realize that when we have a constant x value, then the straight line must be a vertical straight line. Okay, so let's plot these points. Again, this is xy, right? So the points, so this is first point, second point, third point, fourth point. Okay, so that's how we read the table. The first point is minus 3, minus 4. x, y. This is 0, right? Minus 3, minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the first point, right? Minus 3, minus 2. 1, 2, 3, minus 2. That's the second point. 1, 2, 3, 0. That's the third point. Minus 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the fourth point. If we join these 4 points, we'll realize that these 4 points are on the same straight line. And this straight line is obviously vertical. Okay, so this straight line is x is equal to minus 3. Okay, so all the points on this straight line, they all have the same x value, which is minus 3. Okay, but they have different y values. For example, this point, the y value is 0. This point, the y value is 1. This point, the y value might be 1.5, right? So these points have different y values, but they have the same x value. And we can see that this straight line is a vertical straight line, right? And what about x and y intercept? X-intercept, we're looking for x-axis and the straight line intersection, right? And we do have intersection here, which is minus 3, 0. So the x-intercept is minus 3, 0, or minus 3, okay? Y-intercept is the intersection of the straight line and y-axis, right? This is vertical. Y-axis is also vertical. So they're parallel. Two parallel straight lines cannot have an intersection. So there's no intersection between these two lines, which means y-intercept of this particular straight line do not exist. Okay, so that's question number 13. Okay, last one. Number 14. Draw the graphs of the relation defined by the given equations. Use the same set of axes for all 3 graphs. Okay. So this is x and this is y. So this question gives us a very, how do I say that? It gives us some kind of conclusion, but okay, let's draw the graphs first, and then let me think more about it. I'll see whether I want to tell you the conclusion or not, because yeah, we'll see. So let's draw the graphs first. So y is equal to x. Okay, so again, when we know how to find this now, right? We take different x values and we find different y values. So when x is equal to minus 5, y is equal to minus 5, right? Because x and y are equal, right? So x is equal to minus 2, y is minus 2, x is 1, y is 1, x is 4, y is 4. So let's plot these 4 points. We actually don't need to plot 4 points because, like I said, any 2 points on a straight line, like any 2 points determine the straight line. So we can just do 2 points. Okay, let's do minus 5, 5, and 4, 4, just for fun. So x minus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be this point, right? And 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second point is there. So let's join these two points. Okay, so that's the first straight line. Y is equal to x. Okay, we can casually check whether the other 2 points are on the straight line, just to make sure that we drew the straight line correctly. Minus 2, minus 2, minus 1, minus 2, minus 1, minus 2. So this point is minus 2, minus 2, which is on the straight line, right? 1, 1, 1, 1. So this point is on the straight line. So the straight line is correct. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one, y is equal to x minus 3. Y is equal to x minus 3. So when x is equal to minus 5, y is equal to minus 5 minus 3, which is minus 8, right? When x is equal to minus 2, y is equal to minus 2 minus 3, which is minus 5. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. When x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. Okay, so again, we have 4 points, but we only need 2 of them. Okay, so let's pick, I don't know, these 2 this time, just for fun. So 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2, it's here. 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, it's here. So let's join these 2 points. I think you guys should already have the sense where this whole thing is going, right? So this is y is equal to x minus 3. Okay. The observation here is these 2 straight lines look parallel to each other, right? And let's try to see if these 2 points are also on the straight line, just to make sure that we drew the straight line correctly. Minus 5, minus 8. So minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is on the straight line, right? Minus 2, minus 5. Minus 1, minus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is also on the straight line. So this straight line is correct. Okay. C. X, y is equal to x plus 3. If x is equal to minus 5, y is equal to minus 5 plus 3, that's minus 2, right? When x is minus 2, y is 1. When x is equal to 1, y is 4. When x is equal to 4, when x is equal to 4, y is 4 plus 3, that's 7. Okay, again, we have 4 points. Let's use these 2 points this time. Okay, minus 2, 1. Okay, minus 2, 1 is this point, right? And 1, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, this point. Okay, so if we join these 2 points, then this straight line will be x is equal to x plus 3. Again, we can see that these 3 straight lines are parallel. Okay, these 3 straight lines are parallel. So the conclusion that this question is trying to tell us, let me try to make this as simple as possible. Okay, so what makes the straight line deep? Like, what makes the steepness of a straight line is the slope. Okay, that means if 2 straight lines have the same slope, then they have the same steepness. And if they have the same steepness, then they have to be parallel. Okay, so let me write this conclusion here for you. If 2, I mean, I write 2 here, but you can say n, okay? If n straight lines, let me just write n. If n straight lines have the same slope, then they are all parallel. Okay. So if we have a straight line that looks like this, y is equal to mx plus b. So that's the slope y-intercept form, right? So if we have different straight lines, for example, if we have y is equal to mx plus b1, y is equal to mx plus b2, etc. If m is the same, but b is different, that means only the y-intercepts are different, but the slope is the same, right? That's what happened here, right? So these three straight lines, they have the same slope. For y is equal to x, slope is equal to 1. Y is equal to x minus 3, slope is equal to 1. Y is equal to x plus 3, slope is equal to 1. The only difference here is the y-intercept, right? For y is equal to x, the y-intercept is 0. For y is equal to x minus 3, the y-intercept is minus 3. When for y is equal to x plus 3, the y-intercept is positive 3. That's the only difference, right? But these three straight lines, they are parallel. Okay, they are parallel. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is everything for the week 22 homework. I will try my best to make week 23, 24, and 25 as soon as I can. Okay, and as you can see, if I want to explain everything in the homework, it will take a long time, right? So I will try my best to make those videos as soon as I can. Okay, thank you guys.